You could earn $200,000 a year and still be completely broke. That is not a theory. It happens to real people every single month, all over the world. A woman checks her banking app at midnight. The number on the screen is smaller than it was yesterday. She just got paid 4 days ago. She cannot explain where the money went. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why that happens and why it is probably happening to you right now. This is not a story about bad luck. It is not a story about a low income. It is a story about the human brain and how it was never designed to handle money. Most people believe debt is a math problem. Spend less than you earn, and the problem disappears. But if that were true, lottery winners would stay rich forever. Instead, a shocking number of them file for bankruptcy within 5 years. High-income doctors and lawyers carry some of the highest personal debt in the country. Professional athletes earning millions a year have gone completely broke within a few years of retirement. If money were only math, none of this would make sense. So what is really happening? The answer is not in your bank account. It is in your brain. Every time you buy something, your brain releases a small hit of dopamine. It is the same chemical reward triggered by food, by attention, by love. A new phone, a weekend trip you cannot afford, a late-night order that arrives at your door in 20 minutes. Each purchase feels like a tiny victory, but the brain adapts fast. The victory fades within hours, and it demands another one. This is called the hedonic treadmill. You keep running, spending more, and somehow you never feel any richer. There is a second force working against you, and it is even more dangerous. It is called lifestyle inflation. When people earn more money, they almost never save the difference. They upgrade their apartment. They upgrade their car. They upgrade their vacations, their coffee, their wardrobe. Their income rises, but their bank balance stays exactly where it started. Some psychologists call this the invisible raise trap. You get promoted, you celebrate, and within 6 months you are broke at a higher income. There is a third force, quieter than the first two, called present bias. Your brain values $1 today far more than $2 a year from now. That is why saving feels difficult, even when you know it is the right decision. The reward is invisible and far away. The temptation is right in front of you, and it feels real right now. Every financial decision becomes a fight between the you of today and the you of the future. Most days, today wins. Now add a fourth ingredient, and the trap becomes almost impossible to escape. Social comparison. Every day, you scroll through people who appear to be living a better life than you. New cars, new homes, vacations in places you have never been. Your brain does not know the difference between a stranger online and a real neighbor. It reacts the same way. It creates pressure to keep up, even with people you will never meet. Researchers have a name for this. They call it lifestyle comparison debt. People borrow money, not to survive, but to appear successful to people who do not care about them. Here is where the real trap closes. Credit cards were not designed to help you. They were designed to remove the pain of spending. When you pay with cash, your brain feels a small loss every single time. When you tap a card, that pain disappears completely. Studies show people spend up to 100% more when paying by card instead of cash. The bank does not need you to be reckless. It only needs you to feel nothing. Minimum payments make this worse. They are designed to feel manageable while quietly stretching a debt for years. A single credit card balance can take over a decade to repay if you only ever pay the minimum. And once the debt exists, a new emotion enters the picture. Shame. People in debt often stop checking their balance completely because looking feels worse than not knowing. But avoidance does not stop the debt from growing. It only stops you from seeing it grow. This avoidance has a name too. Financial ostrich syndrome. Burying your head in the sand while the number quietly gets larger in the dark. Most people are not bad with money. They are normal humans, reacting exactly the way their brain was built to react. Here is the part that should genuinely disturb you. None of these traps look dangerous in the moment. $5 here, $15 there. A small subscription you forgot you were even paying for. None of it feels like a crisis, so your brain never raises an alarm. But $5 a day is over $1,800 a year. Invested instead of spent, over 30 years, that same small habit can quietly grow into more than $200,000. The tragedy is not one big financial mistake. The tragedy is 1,000 invisible small ones, repeated for decades, that never once felt like a mistake at all. This is why debt feels sudden, even though it was never sudden at all. It was built one unnoticed decision at a time. So how do some people escape? Not by earning more. Not by finding a secret trick. They escape by changing their identity, not their income. There is a well-known study on lottery winners and career athletes. The ones who kept their wealth did one specific thing differently. They did not see money as a reward to spend. They saw it as a tool to protect their future self. That single mental shift changes everything. When you see a purchase as spending against your future, the dopamine hit weakens. The urge quiets down, just slightly, but enough to change a decision. People who break the cycle usually do four specific things. First, they make saving automatic, so willpower is never required. The money moves before they ever see it, so there is nothing left to be tempted by. Second, they remove the ability to pay without feeling it, often by using cash for daily spending. Feeling the loss, even slightly, is often enough to stop an impulse before it happens. Third, they redesign their environment, so temptation shows up less often in their daily life. They unfollow accounts that trigger comparison and unsubscribe from emails built to create urgency. Fourth, they check their number every single week, without judgment, breaking the shame cycle completely. What gets measured calmly stops being frightening. Fifth, they name their savings for a real future moment, not just a percentage in an account. A house, a wedding, the day they finally quit a job that drained them. A number with a name attached to it feels real. A number without a name is just digits, and digits are easy to spend. None of these are about discipline. They are about designing a life where good decisions require less effort. This is the part almost nobody tells you. Financial freedom is rarely about intelligence. It is about environment. Change what surrounds you, and the decisions become almost automatic. The woman from the beginning of this story eventually found her own version of that shift. She did not get a raise. She did not win a lottery. She simply stopped asking how much she could spend and started asking who she was becoming with every choice. She checked her balance every Sunday morning, no matter how small the number was. She moved a fixed amount to savings the moment her paycheck arrived, before she could touch it. 6 months later, she checked her banking app again. The number was still small, but for the first time, it was growing. A year after that, it was growing faster than her spending ever had. She still remembers her old habits, the late-night orders, the endless scrolling, the quiet shame of avoiding her own balance. She does not judge that version of herself anymore. She understands now that person was never careless. That person was simply reacting to a system built to be reacted to. The difference was never intelligence, or income, or luck. The difference was awareness, repeated quietly, one ordinary week at a time. You were never broke because you were bad with money. You were broke because your brain was doing exactly what it evolved to do. Understanding that is not an excuse. It is the beginning of control. The moment you see the trap clearly, it stops controlling you completely. The next choice you make, the next purchase, the next decision, is the first one that is